Enamorus is coming to raids in Pokemon Go. So in today's video, we're gonna go over the top counters, and we're also gonna cover the best of the best to see, is Enamorus Incarnate Forme worth powering up in Pokemon Go? And where does it sit as a fairy and a flying type attacker? It's actually going to surprise you. So we got the timestamps to help you get there if you don't need the counter guide. So welcome to the Trainer Club, here we go. Enamorus is going out in Elite Raids, and that's going to be on the 14th. Some of you guys have already experienced it, and if you have, remember, timestamps to get you to the best of the best to see how this Pokemon does perform, because it just dropped as far as the stats go, and I kind of like this Pokemon, to be quite honest with you guys. The times are going to be 12, 1, 5, and 6, and previously it was 30-minute time frames, and now it's changed into looks like 45-minute time windows, which makes a lot more sense for us. And just as a reminder, the only thing you guys can do is participate with these raids in person. And after successful completion of one of these Elite Raids, you guys will be able to get spawns, which are going to be right here. If you want to see which of these Pokemon are going to be spawning around, to be quite honest with you, it's a lot of fairy type and flying type Pokemon. I don't really think that they're too great. So I would leave and go on to do other ones as opposed to staying around for the spawns. But if you are going to stay around and chill, you guys should be getting boosted spawns for 30 minutes. The one thing they could have done is dropped a shiny Emolga, which I think would have inspired people to stay around, but maybe in the future they'll do something like that. So now let's get into the counter guide for the Enamorus in the Incarnate Forme. So it's going to be a flying and a fairy type Pokemon. It's maxing out at 3,873, so it's not above 4,000. And as far as its weaknesses go, it's going to be electric, poison, ice, rock, and steel. So 5 weaknesses, no double weakness, which is a positive to it. And as far as the moveset, it's going to get Zen Headbutt, it's going to get Astonish, and it's going to get Fairy Wind. And the charge moves are going to be Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot, as well as Fly. So it is going to get stab bonus on all of the moves that it does have, except for a quick attack flying move, which is a little bit unfortunate for this Pokemon, but it's okay. It will still fare pretty decent when we check it out later. And as far as the 100% IVs, 1957 will be the level 20 or weather boosted in cloudy weather or windy weather for the dual typing at 2,447 at level 25. And then how many trainers are we going to need to take down this Pokemon? According to Pokebattler, it's going to be 3.03 trainers at level 40 counters. Not trainer level, your counters are level 40. So if you bring that up a notch, I believe you should be able to trio it, especially if you're using some Mega Pokemon and getting the Mega Boost, and you're using Party Power, which is very key. So Party Power is going to be your best friend, especially for Shadow Raids and Elite Raids, because you can't invite people in if you have a smaller amount of groups. But even if you have a large group, going in with Party Power is still going to help you bring that Pokemon down even faster, so please take full advantage of it. And with that said, now let's start getting into the counters. Okay, so the number 1 best counter overall, can you guess it? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's going to be Shadow Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash. That's going to be the Calm Day move on that Metagross. Extremely powerful. In spot number 2, we are actually going to be getting Mega Gengar with Lick and Sludge Bomb. Okay, so you have to have the Poison Sludge Bomb. So if you do have Shadow Punch on your Mega Gengar and you choose to use this Mega, highly suggest you guys unlock a second charge move and put the Sludge Bomb on, as opposed to taking away this move that was a Calm Day move, and you will, if you want it back, need to Elite TM it. In spot number 3, we are getting Mega Diancie with Rock Throw and Rock Slide. Okay, so with this specific Pokemon, it's a double-edged sword, because number 1, it's the 3rd strongest Pokemon. Number 2, if you guys have listened to me and you do Mega Level 3 almost all of your Megas, this one should also be a Mega Level 3, which will yield you the boosted XL candy for this specific Enamorus, because it's a fairy type, and so is the Mega Diancie, which is a double-edged sword in the positive. The one downside is getting XL candy for Mega Diancie is extremely challenging because it has only been out once, and then you either have to walk it, you have to use rare candy, or use XL rare candy to boost it up, and that's if you got a good one, you would probably invest in it. But it's a very powerful Pokemon, but unfortunately we don't have multiple of them. And with that said, there's going to be other Pokemon that we can use at a Mega Level 3 to be able to help us get more XL candy. Number 1, that's going to be Mega Charizard. Then we can also do Rayquaza, Aerodactyl, Pidgeot, and Salamence, and then also for the fairy type add-on, we can do the Mega Gardevoir. And then let's keep going on with our counters. So we have a good budget counter coming in next, which is going to be number 4, which is going to be Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, followed by Shadow Raikou with Thunder Shock and Wild Charge. Then we have Shadow Magnezone with Volt Switch and Wild Charge. Then we have Shadow Zapdos with Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt, followed by Mega Manectric. And then we have Shadow Excadrill with Metal Claw and Iron Head, followed by Mega Tyranitar with Smackdown as well as Stone Edge. And Smackdown is going to be that Calm Day move, which will need Elite TM to be able to get it. And then we'll have Thunder Shock and Discharge on Xurkitree, followed by Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb on Nihilego. And then we have Mega Aerodactyl with Rock Throw and Rock Slide coming in once again, which is actually going to be a positive because it can get 2 for the price of 1 if you don't have a Mega Level 3 Diancie. Followed by Thunder Shock and Double Iron Bash on Melmetal. Then we have Therian Thundurus, Mega Rayquaza, Shadow Aerodactyl, and then we have Zekrom. So So with that said, what are the weather conditions that we need to look out for? Well, number one, cloudy weather is going to boost this Pokemon all the way to level 25. So that's going to be good. We can catch it and power it up for less Stardust if that's the case. And then we're also going to get cloudy weather, which will boost all of our poison types. Snowy weather to boost our ice as well as our steel types. We're going to have partly cloudy weather to boost all of our rock types. So that's going to do it for the counter guide. Now we're going to switch over into the best of the best and see how good Enamorus is in Pokemon Go. So just as a reminder, it maxes out at 3,873. It's going to have an attack of 281, a defense of 162, and a stamina of 179. So it's a relatively even keeled, but a little bit more favored in the attack category, which could be favorable for this Pokemon being a meta attacker, because just as a reminder, the fairy category is not the most powerful category in Pokemon Go. It's going to be weak to electric, ice, poison, rock, as well as steel. And then as far as its resistances go, it's going to double resist dragon, double resist bug, fighting, and ground, and single resist dark as well as grass, which is pretty cool. As far as its double resistances, it has 4, and that's pretty impressive. And as far as its attacks, once again, we're getting Astonish, we are getting Fairy Wind, and then we are also getting Zen Headbutt, and the charge moves are going to be Dazzling Gleam, Grass Knot, as well as Fly. So let's see what is going to be the strongest moveset on this Pokemon. Overall, the strongest moveset on Enamorus Incarnate Forme is going to be Fairy Wind and Fly at 44.25. Okay, 44.25 is a pretty impressive stat, guys. Honestly, over 40, just as a reminder, could potentially break us into the top 5 or maybe even the first spot of some of these Pokemon. However, this is going to be a flying type charge move, which is going to be a little problematic because we do have Dragon Ascent on Mega Rayquaza and regular Rayquaza, but still it could compete. And then we're going to get double Fairy at Fairy Wind and Dazzling Gleam at 39.33, followed by Zen Headbutt and Fly, and then we have Grass Knight at 36.57. Alrighty, now let's move on to the flying and the fairy type. Can this Pokemon hit one of the top spots? Let's find out. And since it doesn't get a double flying fast move and charge move, we're going to only use charge moves here. Mega Rayquaza number 1 at 73.63 with Dragon Tail and Dragon Ascent, followed by regular Rayquaza at 53.63. And then if we keep going down the list, we have Shadow Lugia, Yveltal, Shadow Ho-Oh, all the way down to Enamorus in spot number 9 with Fairy Wind and Fly at 44.25, which is very, very close to regular Lugia, Shadow Honchkrow, Shadow Ho-Oh, and Yveltal. But man, this Pokemon is actually pretty strong with its Fly move, which is pretty impressive here. And then as far as our fairy moves, we have Mega Gardevoir in spot number 1 with Charm and Dazzling Gleam at 47.06, followed by spot number 2, which is going to be Enamorus Incarnate Forme with Fairy Wind and Dazzling Gleam at 39.33, which is right above Shadow Gardevoir at Charm and Dazzling Gleam at 39.19, but it is above Xerneas with Geomancy and Moonblast at 37.02, and also above Shadow Granbull, Togekiss, Gardevoir, and Sylveon, as well as Primarina. And it's 5 points above the Togekiss and the 6 points above the Gardevoir, which is pretty impressive. So overall, as an attacker, guys, this Pokemon is impressive. Would I suggest powering this Pokemon up? Well, it is going to be a little bit challenging for you guys to get the XL candy for this Pokemon, but at the same time, it does serve pretty well for the fairy attackers, especially because we don't have extremely strong ones, so I really like this Pokemon here. And as far as PvP, 153 ranked in the Ultra League, but in the Master League, it's ranked 47, with Fairy Wind, Fly, and Dazzling Gleam, which is going to be behind Xerneas, Florges, as well as Zacian. So this Pokemon is actually pretty impressive in PvP as well as a meta attacker. And if you guys do get a good one, guys, you can multi-purpose it as a Master League Pokemon and a meta fairy attacker at the same time, because it does recommend Fairy Wind as well as Dazzling Gleam, which is pretty impressive. So this Pokemon honestly impressed me, guys. It's one of the top 10 flying type attackers, and it's the second best fairy type attacker, only behind a mega Pokemon, which is not permanent. So is my recommendation to rate harder than I thought for this Pokemon? Yes. One of the more effective incarnate forms that we have in Pokemon Go. So good luck out there, guys. Get after it. Now you have everything you need to know about Incarnate Forme Enamorus in Pokemon Go. Happy Valentine's Day. Love and appreciate you all. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscribe to the Space 2X level. I'll see you guys out in the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.